What's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? Welcome to Crafter Hours. I'm David Wilson, back again with another stream where we get together and work on something fun, possibly interesting, usually in the realm of scheme, guile scheme, and other related things. So today's going to be a little bit different than the previous streams because we're actually going to be starting some preparations for the Spring Lisp Game Jam, which starts up on Friday. So we're starting a little bit early, not to start working on the game itself, but to sort of get the project code set up and get the general server plus web-based interface set up just as a framework in general to start developing the game. We're also going to use, excuse me, sprightly goblins for the core of the game engine. I'm gonna get that set up too, not to actually do any actual game coding yet, but just to get the general flow of how the whole system should work, so that then on Friday start working on the game code and to start developing the concept. So it should be a lot of fun. I think that we'll be able to make a pretty decent amount of progress in the 2.5 hours we have this morning, and we'll see what we can get to by the end. So if you're in the chat, say hello so I can say hello to you. Hello to T over on the YouTube side. Let's see who's over in the IRC. Hello to Big Edie. I saw Trev and Cal over in the System Crafters IRC chat, so I don't know if they're around or if they're just sort of slacking. Dad here, so gotta be here to cheer me on so I can get this going. Just kidding. It's not all on you. It's all on me, obviously. So let's see. Let me pull up the Crafter Hours notes, and I can start adding some stuff to that for our agenda for the day. So crafterhours.org. I haven't checked these notes in for a while. I need to do that. Hello to Monveer. Monveer says, I'm watching your Lisp tutorial playlist to customize my Emacs, but I'm confused. Which package should I focus on first? There are so many packages to install. Whatever is useful to you, that's what you should focus on. It's okay if English is your second language. There are plenty of people in the community who have English as a second language, so totally fine. Levin says, actually thinking about giving the Lisp Game Jam a go this year. You should. It's a very, very fun event, very relaxed. And the people involved are very cool people, and it's a good time. It's a fun way to write a game, especially if you've never written a game before. It's definitely possible to try to write a game, a small, simple game from scratch in a few days, because there's a lot of good libraries for it out there, like SDL library. There's wrappers for that, Scheme and Common Lisp, etc. Really easy to get started on stuff like that. There's also web game development engines that you can use with Lisp that work in the browser, like GuileHoot or ClojureScript, or I know there's a few for Common Lisp as well. So there's all kinds of stuff that you can use for a game in Lisp. It's a lot of fun. I highly recommend it. A few people here did it last fall, I think, and also last spring. It was a lot of fun. We had a good time. All right, so Wednesday, May 7th, 2025. Our agenda is set up basic project structure like what we've been working. streams. Set up basic page layout for mud style game. I've got some specific ideas in mind for this that should be fun, but we need to kind of just work on it a little bit. Let's see. Basic page layout for mud style game. Set up basic engine. Well, I should probably just not say set up. Basic engine wiring with sprightly goblins. So what else was I going to say here? Basic page layout. Basic project structure. Initial project structure. I don't know. What else? Sending events from server to client with Datastar. So the idea is that in this game, you're playing with other people. It's going to be a multiplayer game. If you don't know what a MUD is, multi-user dungeon. It's an old style game that is usually text-based. You usually play it on a BBS or on telnet connection onto just a normal TCP port. And the idea is that it's like a text adventure game, but it's with multiple players where you, wow, you can't even read that. You have a text output that describes the world that you're in, and then you have text commands that you type in to interact with the world. You can also see other people who are interacting with the world as well. We're gonna have something similar, but it's not gonna be so like, black and white text-based as a normal MUD would be. It's actually gonna be a little bit more styled, let's say. It's going to seem more like a web application than a telnet session, just because I think it would be it's not going to be very complicated. Levin says sounds ambitious. Well, it's not going to be that ambitious either. I'm going to keep things scoped down because I'm only going to have maybe Friday, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 4 streams on actually working on the game, and then this stream, which is the 5th stream, which is just setting the project up. So we don't have a lot of time, so we're going to use our time the best we can and try to do things as simple as possible, but it should be fun. I think it'll be cool. All right, so that's good enough for now. That's sort of what I want to capture. Then we'll sort of figure out the rest as we go. All right, so let's see. What I want to do first is try to get a basic project set up. Oh, and by the way, hello to Cal and to Trev, who both showed up in the IRC later. Cal says, I'm just clipping the steel is heavier than feathers sketch for a GNU Gal post, okay? And Trev says, hi, David from System Crafters. Yes, that's how I introduce myself to all new people that I meet in the outside world, is that I'm David from System Crafters, and they're like, who? What? Which is the right response. I don't actually. Do you believe that? So let me go projects code. What am I going to call this? I'm going to call it Goblin Mud. Goblin's game. Goblin Mud. Okay, there we go. Or Mud Goblins. That sounds a little bit weird. So let's just go with Goblin Mud for now. That works. And then I'll start with a geeks.scm. No, I don't want that actually. What should I start with here? Well, first of all, readme.org would be fine. Just to get the folder initialized. Title. Goblin. I'm sure there's already something called Goblin Mud out in the world. I don't really care. Goblin Mud, is that what I called it? So, we need to set up a project structure. I'm going to create a .geeks folder / modules because we need that. I'm going to create a source folder, create an assets folder. I think that's probably it for now. Let me split the screen here. I'm going to jump over to, I'll turn on eCast tab bar. I'll jump back over to the emacspackages.com repo code folder so that I can kind of take a look at what's in there as well. Scripts, yeah, I probably need a scripts folder. That's probably good for now. So modules, Goblin Mud packages, because we need to be able to build this with geeks. We're going to build it the same way that we were building everything else before with the Emacs packages project. So let me just sort of copy and paste, because we're going to do a lot of copying and pasting here. This is existing code. Goblin. One. So some of this stuff can go. Will we use a database? We probably should use a database, I guess. It's definitely not goblinmud.com. Where should I put this? I don't want it to be like a permanent thing that's going to stay up forever. Gob of Mud 3. Instead of God of War 3. I got it. Gob of Mud. I mean, that could work too. That's an alternate title. Goblin Mud. Gob of Mud 3. So, let's see. Web frame packages. We do need to have the web frame stuff in here. How did I have this, the channels definition? I'm pretty sure that was in each channel file. All this stuff is going to be the same. In fact, I probably could just copy that straight over. Gus says, you always get what I'm saying, David from systemcrafters.com. I don't have systemcrafters.com, unfortunately. Because they wanted $1 million for me to buy the domain from them. I'm not joking. I tried to buy systemcrafters.com from the owner of systemcrafters.com through a, what do you call it? One of those domain auction sites or domain purchase sites. And I offered them some amount of money that I thought was reasonable. And they countered back with like $1.4 million. So I could tell that wasn't a serious offer, because if they were to go to the YouTube channel, they would see that I do not have $1.4 million to spend on a domain name. I don't know why it's so valuable to them, because they don't even use it. Anyway. So we got Goblin Mud. I want a server file in here, probably. I don't want to just like copy and paste the entire files over. Let's be a little bit more clever than that. Trev says crooks. Yeah, they are kind of crooks. We're just waiting all these years somebody to come along and want to use the same name, System Crafters, and scam them out of the domain. Seems a little bit unreasonable to me, but this is the world we live in. Okay, so server.scm. I'm getting ahead of myself a little bit. Let me make sure that I got everything that I need. Let's go back to the packages.scm file. What I really need here is to make sure that all the dependencies I need are in place. I don't think I need... I'm trying to think of... So, from a design standpoint... Hello to Steppen. You're here now, Cal? Okay, you're late. From a design standpoint, I want this to be easy to cite. So like for creating a character, I don't necessarily want to have to store usernames and passwords or have people log in. What would be kind of nice is if you could just create a new user and it would give you a URL that you could use to log back into that user or something, just kind of like jump back into it. Basically, it'd be a like a token that would be on the URL. That will still require some storage, in a database, so I'm probably going to end up using SQLite anyway to store some data. I could probably just do stores on files in the file system. I might not actually need a full database. It would be nice if I didn't. Neurotransmission says, has anyone tried CL and trial in the game jams before? I'm sure somebody has, but I have not. I don't remember if I've heard of anybody. Big Edie says, Frick, was going to go buy fluxharmonic.com and offer it to you for just half that price, but looks like some enterprising individual already got it. Yeah, that one is not as commonly used of a name, but someone did actually use Flux Harmonic as a name on YouTube. So I didn't get to get that name like I did with System Crafters on YouTube. Which is weird, because I thought it was a pretty unique name. Like, who would come up with that silly name? Apparently someone else did before me by some number of years. Okay, anyway, going back to what I was saying, the jot thing. Do I need that? I don't know. JSON. I need JSON because of Datastar. SQLite, we'll keep it. Hashing, we probably don't need it. Gcrypt, we probably don't need it. GNU TLS, probably don't need it. Common mark, I'll keep. Actually, no, I don't really need common marks. I'm just going to use SXML. Fibers we need. Guile goblins we need. Guile lib, I was using it for something. So I think that's good enough for now. Okay. I'll probably just put it on the subdomain of systemcrafters.net for now. Okay. So Goblin Mud, let me pull this back up. Don't need all of these anymore. Did I get rid of Jot? I kept Jot. JSON, SQLite 3, hashing, Gcrypt, GNU TLS, common mark we don't need. Apparently, sorry, unfortunately I have to do this kind of wrapping for everything because Guile, pretty sure it's Guile Goblin. I have to do this wrapping because if I want to have a script file, I have to make sure the environment's set up correctly for everything. So Guile Goblin's great. All right. Goblinmud.db. Let's leave that too. It's probably fine for now. What else? Start server, sync archives. We don't need sync archives in this case. I'm just going to delete this whole part about sync archives. Oops. I always end up hitting the wrong key binding. I want to cut out a section. So also need here. And this is 507. Call it that for now. Everything else is looking pretty good. Probably don't need all this stuff that I'm doing right now, but we're just going to set it up because... Okay, we do need it for one thing, though. We need it to set up the symbolic link. So lnsf. Once again, I always forget the order of the parameters because who remembers? Target and link name. All right, so excuse me, lnsf dot geeks /modules Goblin Mud packages. Geeks.scm. SAL.scm. Cool. Now, for scripts, we're going to pop this back open. We're going to go back over to the Emacs packages repo. Scripts, start server. I need to steal this a little bit because we do need something like that. Scripts, start server.scm. Go. Site server. Spawn server. REPL port, start server. Okay. All I really want to do to start off is to get the server running with the necessary dependencies in place. Server handler, start server. Okay. Guess I'll copy over the module. Some of these we don't need. Fibers. We need Fibers web server. Match. I don't see match. Oops. Like match can probably be taken out of this other page as well. So file. Logger context. See context being used. Yep. Handle request. Routes site D. I'm going to take out site D. Session. Probably sort of do. Trev says systemcrafter.ers is only $82. I don't know about that. Yes. What is that prompt? Why do I have a pentagram on it? Because I was bored. Okay. Routes. We're gonna need routes. Session. Sure. We have a session. What information do I have in the session? Session anyway. Session. Expiration. Site session token secret. Like session token. Right. Fires at. Guess it's something we could do, but I don't think I really need that for now. Let's just get rid of that. Later, if we need it, we'll add it. But I kind of want to keep things simple to start with. All right, so we're pulling from cookies, session token. Probably won't do that either. Session token, make context the request session. Okay, that's false for now. Request, localhost, need routes. I'm gonna go over here and grab routes. A lot of stuff in design. Just a whole strip of that's because they're demonic. Authentication handling, maybe. I'm kind of wanting to just sort of simplify this, so let me just rip some things out. So index view, let's just take everything out of here. Except for the assets. Assets. handler list. Okay, so index view. So how should I do this? I have like a whole views folder. I don't really know if that's necessary though. I think this may be a lot simpler. So maybe I could just say views.scm. That's good enough for now. So fine. And I'll define public main view. Body. We're gonna need module sx simple. Make sure I'm using. If I go to site util template. Yeah, I'm using sx. Here. Fine. I actually don't need. Especially, let me do this. Because we just need like the main page, and then everything else is going to be a timed request, I think, like to pull on an endpoint to get the latest fragments of things to insert into the UI. That sound about right? So let's see. Client public. Don't need user ID, maybe. Site header, there's a lot of extra stuff that I added here. We don't need all this extra stuff, so let me just get rid of some things in here. Some of the things that we added last time. Footer I'll leave for now because we probably do want a footer on the site, but I don't know. So we'll change the font as well. Div container body. So we're not going to do a generalized body anymore. It's going to be an actual div ID. And then it's going to be empty to start with. So the event feed will be there. We're going to need also a and input. I'm just sort of sketching it out. We'll change this up a little bit. In fact, input here. How's I doing inputs? Is data bind. We're gonna call it data bind command. And let's see. Data star. We'll just try to set this up real quick. I don't know. It's gonna be this easy, but it might be this easy. Attribute plugins on. E. What I want is whenever the enter key is pressed. Oh, and if anybody else here, excuse me, anybody else here is planning to join the jam and you know what you're going to do or know what you're going to use, at least, let me know. I'm curious to see what other people are going to be doing. So HTML input field events. What about the change? Event listeners are added for change. Excuse me. Change input and key down events. Divine foo. Submit event fires when a form is submitted. I wonder if that gets triggered on enter. It's a little bit premature to be trying to do this, but that's okay. Data on submit. Let's just see. Data on submit. Try that and see if it works. Okay. Margin top auto. CSS. Trying to, probably need Flexbox for this or something. Anyway, let's get back to it. Let's just get everything on the screen first, and then we'll figure out what to do next. Okay, so we got the body set up here. Site.css. Title is going to be Goblin. Our script needs to be inserted. It's fine. User ID, container, event feed. I don't really necessarily want to see a bunch of stuff on the page, but let's see. And also on event feed here, we're gonna have a little timer. Excuse me. Let's say like once a second. I don't know. If you have like thousands of people playing the game, you don't want to do that. Ideally, would have fully server-side event implementation, but the way that Guile's web framework is implemented doesn't allow for that right now. Something I would like to change in the future, but I can't really deal with that at the moment. So we're going to be polling back end. I just want to see that work too. So let's see. Poll. No. The way to do a timer on interval. There we go. Data on interval. Runs an expression at a regular interval. Interval duration defaults to 1 second and can be modified using the duration modifier. That sounds fine to me. So data on interval. Okay, that's good. So let's see if I actually need that. I might need it, but whatever. All right, so data on interval, get events. We'll see those requests coming in a second. And what else? User ID. Not really user ID. Could be session ID. I don't know. Let's see. Okay. So main view. Now we're going to go back to routes. And on the empty route, we're going to go to main view. So main view, that's going to come from okay, good. That should be enough. Now we're going to start running it and see what kind of errors we. It should be a lot of fun. Rid of that. I'm going to try to run this. So compile or control X PC. I haven't created a repo, so that explains why this is not showing up as a project. Okay. See. Ooh, I need to check things. It's fine. Okay. Also, there's also another thing from the scripts folder that I need to steal. Is devserver.sh shell, which we need. Backup. Scripts. Devserver.sh. So load path. Adding guy web. Oh, that's not the right path to guy web. That is /sites/name. Okay. Shell. Also need to fix sites. Script start server. Okay. So now we should, in theory, be able to Oh, and I need to make sure the REPL thing is here as well. I think there was a. Let's try this. Yeah, REPL port. Let's just steal that. Do I have a dear locals? Steal the dear locals too. How about that? Got that. I'm gonna go back over into process SCM. I'm gonna run normal mode to reload the dear local file, and then I'm gonna run Control X C, and then we've got the report thing here. Let's run it, see what happens. Server permission denied. I need to make that suitable. Mod X scripts dev server. Go. Okay, here we go. Goblin mud, unbound variable, packages, line 94. I think I screwed up on changing the variable name up here. Okay, goblinmud.com. Where else did I say that? Nowhere else? Run it again. Building web frame. All right, cool. Start server.scm not found. I'm probably not in the correct folder path. Let's go right here and then run compile again. Start server command not found. Scripts. Start server command not found. Why not? That also probably also needs to be mod. Okay. There we go. No code for module. Goblin mud routes. I see. Did I set the load path correctly then? Goblin mud routes. Oh, I did screw that up. So routes. Seems changed. Problem you run into whenever you're copying and pasting code around. No code for module goblin server thing. Cool. Listening on localhost 8080. And let's see, unbound variable DB. That makes sense. If I go back into route, wait, B here, be false. That was also, let's geyser connect on that. Now we're in the REPL. I'm gonna reload this module, but I got a feeling it's not gonna do enough. I might have to restart the server. So yeah, I'm gonna have to restart the server. Load the page. Now, wrong number of values returned to continuation expected to. Excuse me. So let's see. In middleware, means it must be in routes. Logged for handler, const handler, middlewares, main view, views, Java mud views, main view context body with output string. That should be fine. Render CSS also takes handy. Speaker says, "What are you building?" I am building basically the project structure and framework for a game for the Lisp Game Jam that starts on Friday. It's going to be a web-based MUD, basically a text-based multi-user system. Multi-user, MMO, let's say, massively multiplayer online game, which won't be very massive because there'll probably only be 2 or 3 people playing at any time. So, can I try to load the CSS file? Let's see, assets, site.css. Okay, that loads, so at least it was returning correctly. So maybe main view is screwing up. Oh, right. I'm not actually returning a values response. That's the main problem. It will be on 3D. Yeah, sure, you could do a 3D world, but I'm not doing that. I'm only doing a text-based game in a browser. So values. How about use values content type? That there. Event things. Go to the end. Close it off. Reload that module. Oh, guys are connected again. Go. Reload the module, and then go back to the home page and go. Have something showing up at least. Need to change the view. So we can see here that we got events being pulled. It's 404 right now. We don't have anything, but I will show you very quickly how we can start to populate the feed of events as things are going on. If I type something in here and press enter, does it actually do anything? No, it doesn't do anything. So I might have to do a key event on that. I'm not exactly sure the best way to do that. Key down, key up. Key, bind keys. Press Control K, press enter. You hit the other code. Okay, cool. Key down, window, event key is enter. Nice. But I don't want it on window. I want it on that specific element. But I guess that's the way to do it. Just have on key down. Oops, not that. So we're going to pop it, snip it right there, and then put it this line. Not going to be window. It's going to be on this element. Event key, enter, and get. Go. That's good. Now, still need to close something. Good. Reload the module. Go here and where is it? Reload the page. The page now reloaded, and I will now press enter there. Okay, so command got sent. Good. So we got command requests coming through. Good. What else? Let's get some events coming out of there. So I want to add a route for events. Let's see. It's not really a view. This is more like a action something. I don't know. What I'm gonna do is just simply make a actually. Hold on. Yes. Define whole events. Context body. There's something in WebFrame for query parameters. URI query param. URI query west context west. Pretty sure that's here. Log info. Show us that we're getting some back west. We're also going to return. We're going to go back over to the Emacs packages code. Tips. Event stream. Oh. Copy this right here. Okay. Okay. Not going to merge signals just yet, but we are going to merge fragments. Under package tip, let's find your event type. Maybe. So I'm going to make a div. That merge mode end, and I'm not going to use a selector because it should already be in the right place. Right. So we're returning an event stream. We're writing fragments to be inserted by data star. Got poll events here. That should be fine. Now reload the module. All right, URI query params. Pulled in use module web name URI. Also pull in the data star library module. Probably should stay in here. So now check the output if we're crashing. Session buffer. Okay, cool. So we got session ID command wef. All right, good. We have information coming through from the UI. Also, is it actually adding anything to the output? See what the network output. Response. We get to see the response? No, of course not. Let's see. Text stream, accept event text stream. Response header, event stream. Okay. Not being written back out. Let me see what's going on in the main UI then. Just event feed. Maybe I need to put something empty in there to begin with. Let me reload the page. Still nothing. Ooh. So nothing seems to be getting added. I wonder if I got any errors in the console. No, doesn't like it. Oh, yep, I do have errors in the console. No targets found. Merged fragments, selector or ID null. Maybe I do need that selector then. If I go back to routes. Let me go that one section. I can do this funky stuff. Emacs. I'm gonna select this section and hit Control Z. Did that work? What did it not work? There we go. And what did I call that part of the UI? Use. Reload that. Reload the page. No targets found. That's yes. I put it there. Selector event feed. Unmatched bracket or quote. Okay, no wonder. There it is. Test event. So now we got events coming in. Okay, so obviously that's not everything. We need to make a scrollable area in the page. Let me think about how I want to do it. Big Edie says, question is probably super dumb, but I know nothing about web development. Is what you built with Fibers essentially a web server? I get confused in terminology. And Trev says, from the Emacs package of streams, yeah, that was a web server using Fibers, slightly modified from Fibers example. Yes. They have a built-in web server framework that is based on the one that is in Guile, but it's a bit different and does concurrency a bit better. So I'm using that one, and I'm just sort of writing my own route handling and page generation, whatnot. Okay, so still going. Let me try to make that in a scrollable area. So in our CSS, since we actually have CSS here, so let's see. I want to add a rule. Or was it event feed? Is that what I called it? I keep forgetting what I'm calling the elements here. Let's see. Event feed. That's the ID. Okay. All right, so that's navlink a icon container. We're going to drop it right after container here, I think. Event feed. Now, we need to add some rules for overflows. CSS overflow. Scroll. I only want it to scroll vertically. Okay, so overflow Y. Overflow content is not clipped and may be visible outside of padding box. Overflow content is clipped at the padding box. All right, so I need overflow X to be hidden. I need overflow Y. Right? Okay. Unbound variable X. What? All quoted, isn't it? there is some. Object because I'm using a character. What happened? Huh. Okay, that hash didn't like. Hope that works. We inspect the element. I don't see an event feed style. Check the asset site CSS. Bottom. Okay, yeah, that's wrong. Did I set it up so I can do this? Probably not. Okay, that worked. Now if I inspect again. Okay, overflow X. That should work. But it's not. I guess the parent container needs to be constrained. So then for event feed height, I would say it needs to be 50%. Needs to be getting bigger than that, huh? Fixed height. Maybe let's see height 500 EX. Yeah, that works. Just want to see if it scrolls. All right, there it goes. Now I also want it to scroll to the end. I know there's a way to do that in DataStar, so let me go check out scroll. Scroll into view. Scrolls the element into view, useful when updating the DOM from the backend. Scroll into content. So on the element that comes through, close this quickly. On the element that comes through in routes, let's see if stream. All right, there we go. What was it called? Data scroll into view. Do I need? That's actually sure. There it is. See how it's scrolling now? Scrolling into the view. So that's cool. Like anytime a new event comes in, boom, it goes showing up at the bottom. Wonder if there's a way to trim those over time, but maybe it doesn't matter. Okay. Let me also think about how I want to deal with commands right now. Oh, and also back in views for the main view. Let's take this. Interesting how it does that. All right, got our command box. Let's see. Can I make that? Can I take this div out and just get an input? Maybe I shouldn't. Okay, ID command input. Trying to think of the best way to. So let's go to routes. and then command. Command, right? Events. Command. Okay, command is in there. 404 get command. Got it. Okay, so now command. Run command. I don't know. Does that really handle? Same thing here. So for params, I actually want to pull out session ID command. What do we need to do? Over in Emacs packages. Stock ref. Okay, URI decode. Stock ref params. Back over in routes. Make that a let star. Here we're also star. Copy. URI decode. We need to have. Okay. JSON string to scheme. Yeah, just like a few steps involved here. Signals, JSON stream, signal JSON, and then I call it session ID. This. And so session ID and also command. That's right. And I'll do a funky little thing here where I'm going to use a signal. I'm going to merge the signal. I'm not going to do anything with fragments here. Merge signals. Work. How was I doing that before? I go back to tips. Merge signal. Okay, just an A list. And I'm going to make that an string. I'll just clear that box out. Input data bind. Okay. So that should be enough for this for now. Like I said, I don't want to merge fragments here. What I want to do is just let the system handle the event of the command. I mean, I guess one thing we could do is if there was a command parsing error. Hey, random code. Maybe we want to have a fragment back, but until then, my mic is low. Can everybody hear me? I think it's low in general. I noticed recently that the stream volume has not been great. Okay. JSON string scheme. I need to pull in the JSON library. Probably should be putting stuff somewhere else. I'll fix that later. So the signal did get cleared, which means it saw the command, which is good. If I go back to compilation buffer, we should see where the command came in. Command, oh, something got busted. Command, I saw it, doF. All right, cool. Yeah, it's working. You barely hear me? Let me check my audio levels. Check, 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 check. Yeah, I think that it's pretty loud. Make sure your YouTube volume, the volume of the YouTube player also is the right level. Anybody else in the chat notice any issues with the volume? Okay, so we got our events coming through, and you can type in commands. That's a good start. Like the UI is basically working. It doesn't look great. Probably a bit quieter than normal. Yeah, I noticed that too. I'm not exactly sure what the explanation is for that. Let me try bumping up the output gain. I'll keep an eye on the levels, make sure that doesn't go too high. Also, maybe the mic input is too low. Test. Test, test, test. Is that better? It's a bit louder. It might be too loud. What do you think about that? Now I'm deafening Trev. Thank you all for checking that for me. I think maybe one of the knobs got turned incorrectly at some point on my audio interface. Okay. So, next steps. What did I have in the list? Let's see, crafterhours.org. There it is. Initial project structure like we've been working on streams. I mean, we've got that working now. Basic page layout for mud style game. I guess the next part is just getting goblins in here and getting like a basic actor style setup. Sending events from server to client with Datastar. We've got that working basically. All right, so Trev says, now I will lower you. And Big Edie says, as did I. Yes, unfortunately, I've been making everyone adjust their volume to hear me today. That's okay. I appreciate the input. I actually have been wondering about it because I was watching the recording of one of the streams recently. And I was like, the audio is a little bit low. I don't know what's going on here. Okay. So, goblins. Now I have to think about what we were doing last time. So I know that we were defining actors, which are effectively procedures. We're not going to try to write the engine right now. I guess what I want to try to accomplish is when a command comes in, it generates an engine event. So the engine event needs to be sent somewhere. So I'm trying to think just like generally, I don't want to think too much about this because I want to actually implement the behavior of this starting on Friday, but command will create some kind of event in the engine. Like let's say you want to move. Is addressed to a particular actor. Engine event is addressed to a particular actor, probably the player. The handler for the event may send messages to other actors. And then any of these handlers can send a display event to actors associated with the current area, room, region, etc. So, but also things like getting the description of a, well, no, even that's fine. Like getting a description of the current room, that's not something that needs to go through the whole system necessarily. All right, so let's go to engine.scm. We're going to define module goblin mud engine, and we're going to use modules. Let's go to sprightly goblins. Go to the manual on that real quick. Docs. Okay, use modules, goblins. It seemed like there was another one too, but actually we need to go up to the API. There's a defined star. There's a defined actor somewhere as well. Probably in the actor lib. Cell, common, IO, let on, blah, 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 blah. Okay, I don't need that stuff just yet. Define actor, there it is. Which module is this in? Doesn't say. Rev says, crank it even higher so we can hear the ambient street noises and honks. There are none. Big U says, Friday, this is the topic of the stream then? Yeah, we're going to be doing this on the normal Friday stream. Because I decided that having 2 streams on Friday would be a little bit insane, so probably not a good idea. Okay, so how do I want to deal with this? Find actor. Player. This a player actor. So we're in a system where there could be multiple players at any given time. A player actor could have different methods that it deals with. So player, becom, and we probably need some other parameters for this. So like name. Let's start with that. So player, becom, name. If you didn't see the stream on Friday with goblins, you're basically defining actors, which are procedures effectively, which can be switched out. Methods. And they can have methods, which are effectively just like a case statement on types of messages that can be sent into it. Becom set temp cell. to refer. Portrait lambda, restore lambda methods. Okay, so methods probably returns a case lambda. Handle command. That's going to be a method. In fact, we can use a fancy square bracket syntax to make it look a little bit cleaner in a way. Yep, so then and also we need to have the actor itself, I believe. We're gonna need something. ID and a name. We'll see. Unmatched bracket or quote, that makes sense. Unknown keyword or bad argument in subform. Use modules. That's my mistake right there. Okay. No code for modules. Is it logger routes? Logger. Okay, fine. Right, possibly unbound variable methods. Handle command. Command. That's because the syntax is not being handled correctly. Now, I feel like define actor must be in some other module. Let's go in the REPL. REPL. Use goblins. Okay, define actors there. Methods is not. Let's go up to the API. MISC. Ooh, migrations. Wow, that's cool. Goblins, actor lib, methods. Cool. Now we have an actor. We don't have an instance though. Big Edie says 2 streams insane. Fine, just do a 24-hour stream, get the whole thing knocked out. No way, man. No way. There's no way that I'd be able to survive that. And yeah, my family would not survive it either. Meaning everybody would probably be insane by the end of it. Let's see. So we need to have an actual instance of an actor for this to work. We can fake one for now. I can also define a public make player ID. Ooh, I need a VAT too. So define engine VAT. Yeah, define a VAT spawn. So we got that spawn VAT, make player ID. See you, Big Edie. Thanks for being here. All right, so define public make player ID name. I think that's good, right? And then we're going to spawn player ID name. Okay, so that will create a player for us. Port of module goblins, overrise core binding spawn. That's fine. Cal says, there's a famous case of a greater than 48 hours radio show. The guy literally went insane. When I see literally, I do not mean figuratively. Yes. it's not an easy thing to be performing, let's say, for a very long time. Any streamer that does a 24-hour stream, I think, is probably they're already a little bit crazy before that. So define public test player, make player false. This needs to be in the context of the engine vet. Wrong type in argument one, closed string. What? There was something on the main page. With vat, engine vat. Oh. With vat spawn. Okay, with vat, a vat spawn. Seems fine now. So test player must exist. If I go into M goblin mud engine, test player must be a, yeah, okay, local object player. Cool. So we do have now a test player, which means that we could send messages to that. And we could send a command to it. So if I were to go back over to routes and handle command, send a message to the associated player actor. And this is going to be an arrow because we're going to send a synchronous message. I guess that's sort of the problem, though, is that we won't know that there is a command parsing error until after, but maybe that's okay. Maybe it doesn't matter that much. So let me just do that anyway. Test player, handle command. That's basically it. I need to pull in goblins too. I don't think I need to be in a vat to do that. But maybe I do. I mean, I could have like a... send message actor args. And then it could be with vat, engine vat. This is only necessary though if it doesn't work the way I expect it to. So with vat, engine vat, actor. Can I apply that? Is that a procedure? Does that work? Let's see. Let's try this first and see if it works. So test player, handle command. Whoa, that's the wrong bounding. Okay. I'll go into the browser and type in get foo. Then go to compilation. Where are we? All right, no current syscaller, probably because I'm not in an event thread when I did that. So I might need to use the procedure that I put together. So I can change it to be send message, test player, handle command. Can I even just do this? Unbound variable command. Okay. Wrong argument, position 1, expecting empty list local object player. Where's send message? Function args or function arg1, etc. Should be right, shouldn't it? Wrong argument in position 1, expecting empty list, local object player. Send message? Can you tell me which? I guess I could just do this. There it is, handle command food. So that did actually work. That's good enough, I guess. I don't know why the other one didn't work though. Why did the append not work? Oh, because I'm an idiot. It's not a list. Cons. Let's not be stupid here. Boom. All right, good. At least it's more obvious now what this is supposed to be doing. Let's see. Sleep is core to biology. Yes, you definitely need to sleep. Trev says 20% VAT. What? Capability Sub says expecting empty list. Yeah, that was my my mistake. My stupidity. That's okay. Manganese Chromate says, finally, Lisp influencers. My favorite new class of influencers. Yes, I don't know if that's a good thing. Is it? Am I an influencer, or am I just a sad little man writing a bunch of parentheses on a screen somewhere in the internet? So, cool. We can handle a message that gets sent into the Goblin's system. So then what next? Can a command cause something to come back out on the other side? Now the question is, okay, let me be more clear about what I mean. When a command gets sent in through the user typing something, and that command gets handled by a player, systemcrafters.biz, that would be awful. When the player actor handles that command, how does it write something that ends up showing up as an event on the screen? I think that there would need to be some kind of actor, like an event sync of some sort, associated with every, let me think about this for a second. The player, yeah, that actually does make a little bit of sense. So let me think about this. The player needs to be place where display events can be sent for things that happen. So each player is going to have their own sort of event queue for things that need to go back to the UI. So there could be a command or a method, let's say. Get events. And it would return the current events. And that's for the user interface. Inside of define actor, we could have an event queue. I wonder, like, what other things that we have in the documentation that might be helpful. Let's see. Queue provides a FIFO queue, which has the following methods: length, empty, enqueue, dequeue. Can I just get the entire list? There's something else that has collections, I think, not just plain old queues. I mean, there's obviously cell too. Oh, common. Common was the thing. As list, return a representation of the set as a scheme list. Note the order of items in the list is not specified. That's for a set. There's also a G hash, which I don't need. Transactionality guarantees while providing an apparently mutable interface. How much do we care about transactionality for an event list? This is all concurrent, so if I'm messing with a list here, I think it's fine. Manganese says, have you done any FFI related stuff in Lisp? Oh, tons. Tons of FFI. It's not that hard. In many cases, Lisp implementations will have a dynamic FFI where you can easily bind to a C library at runtime, so you can experiment with things very easily, and you might crash your Lisp process by doing it, but it is possible. Okay, so empty event queue, push event. I think what we're going to do is something like this. Okay. Push event is going to be set event queue const event onto event queue. I don't really like event queue as a name for that because it kind of implies things. So how about I change that to there we go. So I can redefine what the actor is. Possibly unbound variable current events, pending events. So now if I want to try to send an event, I don't know if I actually update this actor, does it actually update the event handling? That'd be kind of interesting if it did. So in the handle command, probably need the actor too. And there was also something about self in define actor, self name. So in define actor, if I use, is that right? Or is it after the print list? Yeah, it's after. Okay. So it's going to be right here. Self this. And then when I use handle command, it's going to be this. For this player. Okay, seems okay so far. So when I handle a command, I can send a message back to itself with $, actor, push event. What else? I don't necessarily want to do div stuff right here. It needs to be a bit more. Now let's just do a div for now. Enter command, also handle player command, actor, ID, name, Bane. Wow. This is going great. So name command. Need to unquote that. And that should be enough just to get the yeah. Possibly unbound variable push event. This needs to be quoted as well. Thank you. Alrighty. So if I do handle command again, in theory, it should be able to do that. Now, so for I'm not going to say what the events are just yet. I just want to see that happen. Also, back in routes, when we do the event polling, poll events, manage fragments port. We're going to need multiple. We're going to need one for each event that's coming through, in theory. What if I do that? If I were to send... It would have to be synchronous. Is that what it's called? Test player. Okay, so events, send message sync. We're going to go back into engine. Define public, send message sync. And maybe I'm getting too far into this and I probably shouldn't go too much farther because then it's borderline implementing the game. Actor args. With that engine, that. And you're probably thinking, does any of this actually make sense? Like, why are you using goblins when it could be much simpler? Well, there's probably reasons why it could be a lot simpler. Or sorry. There will be reasons why doing it in this asynchronous style will make sense as time goes on. But right now it's very difficult to see because we're at the edge of the engine. We're sort of like at the point where we're interacting with the engine and things have to come in and out of the goblins world. But inside the goblins world, things will be a lot more dynamic, I think. Sending messages between actors and having things work like that should be pretty interesting. So apply const actor args. Okay, that gives us a synchronous message send capability into the engine. And then that should allow us to be able to get the events out of the test player. Fikri says, FFI and Lisp seems fun. I remember when David wrote Mesh. Yes, Mesh definitely had a lot of FFI. Okay. So in routes, oh, wait, I wanted to go back into engine and reeval this real quick so that all the things are available, and then go back into the routes file, reeval everything there. Now, if I type in a command, I wonder what's going to happen. Let's see if it actually works correctly. Close that window. Get foo, press enter. Compilation. Get foo. I don't see it doing anything. Nothing special. I kind of wish I didn't have all the logging for the events endpoint though, because it's very noisy. Let me actually go take the params out of there. I don't want to see that anymore. Getting events. Getting events. Who wrote that? I think it was written by the engine. Get events. But why is it? But it got written right then. Man foo. Send message sync. Yeah. When does poll events get called? All the time. So why is that not getting written out? Unless it's getting written somewhere else. All right, so if I have events, maybe I'll stop using test event here. Maybe what I'll do is for each lambda event, merge fragments port, and then event. Let's just save that right here in case we want it again. Out of here. What did I do that? All right. For each. Inside the for each, we want to say events. Okay, event feed, for each, call the string values. Okay. Now, we shouldn't be getting any more events. Yeah, they stopped coming in. In fact, if I reload the page, no new events are coming in. Foo bar. Oh, look at that. Test player inner command foo. Foo bar baz. Why does it not give me the entire command? That's weird. Command foo bar baz. Handle command. Oh, that's why. Get hammer. Foo ba. So, it's going through the system. Events are being queued. Handle command. I never see the log come out. I think it must be eating the ports for input output, which is okay. I think I've heard about that before in the what do you call it, the documentation. The important thing, the manual, the documentation. Okay. So we've got handle command. When we handle the command, we call push event on the actor to add an event to the pending events list. And then when we call get events from the outside, it gives us the list of events and then clears it. so that it could be added to again. So all this is happening the way we kind of expect. And that can be cleared out as well. So I feel like that's pretty successful. That's a good starting point for implementing a game engine with goblins and guile and fibers and goblins and Datastar, right? Because we at least have the ability to go to the page and then start typing in commands, and then through the whole mechanism, the events come back to the screen. So things can happen from this point. The only thing I would like to do probably before ending the stream today is just change the styling a bit on things to make it look a bit more like what I would expect from a game. It's not going to look very good on mobile yet, but that's okay because we're not going to deploy the site for a couple streams at least. But at least for now, we can tweak things up a little bit. In fact, I also want to go to CDN fonts and find a better font for the purpose of this game. Something that's a bit more like fantasy style. Even handwritten. Maybe not that handwritten. That's a little bit too much. Like this one could be kind of funny. It's like papyrus. Remember the papyrus font? Ooh, that's too much. I think that would be insane. You'd have to read that the entire time. It's all italicized. Let me write a different string here. So you are standing at a fork in the road. Just so we can see what it would look like with actual text in a game. Can I remove the, scroll the size down some. Peeker says, don't shower me with millennials joke. Which one? I don't know even which one I said. Some of these are so weird. It needs to be readable, but it needs to have some personality, I think, because text is a big part of this. Lagrassimo isn't bad. Yeah, I agree. It's not bad, but it's too italic. I feel like I don't want to be reading italic text the entire time. Papyrus, yes. It's definitely a millennial joke. That's true. Because you wouldn't know about that font probably unless you used Windows versions in the 90s. Or Microsoft Word, even. Where did that one go? Putting papyrus in your AIM profile, exactly. Exactly like that. Maybe I should go with, wait, display? What do we got for a display here? Ooh, yeah, let's get some of these. With a Breaking Benjamin lyric, that would be appropriate for the time period, I think. What is this ad lamb display? That kind of has kind of a personality to it. Kind of interesting. It's got a game feel to it. Let me copy this and drop it in. I'll go to views. I'll replace the Jost here with add lamb display. And then reload the page. Actually, I need to re-eval the code first and then reload the page. Hello. I think it didn't load. What's going on here? 304 cached. Hey. Did it have a response? It's cached. Okay. Didn't load it. Oh, I need to change the site CSS as well. Back in routes, Jost. There we go. And what's it called? Yeah, this funky name here. Add an Oblivion lockpicking minigame? I don't know. That sounds intense. I want to play that Oblivion, though. Alright, test player enter command, wef wef. Hell. That was supposed to be hello, but, you know, didn't work so well. That's kind of interesting. It's not great, but we can stick with that for the moment. I'm going to change the background color. Let's see. Color theme, CSS color theme generator. I don't know. Yeah, coolers. I like coolers. It's all right. Thank you for putting your face in my face. Give me... How can I get it to generate one? Where is the generate button? Press the space bar. That's kind of interesting. I like that green. And maybe even the yellow. And maybe even the orange and the blue. Do we want to go with that? Let's go with that for now. All right, so background color on body, we're going to drop this one in. And then foreground color, let's stick with a whitish color for that, just to make it readable. FG color, I'm not going to do this anymore. Let's just get this variable out. The FG color, that's just going to be, they're going to be white for the moment. Then we'll change it. And I will go ahead and just reeval that and then reload page. There we go. Test, test. There we go. That's good. I want the event feed to have a border. So border width 2px solid. I think this is the right thing, isn't it? Where's the color thing? Get rid of that. Get rid of that. What color do I want to use for that? Maybe the orange? For now, just to try it. Yeah, I think I screwed up. No matching pattern. Let me do this instead. That may be wrong. No, okay. CSS border rounded. There's radius 2. Border radius. Border radius 25 pixels. Okay, so border radius. I'm gonna say 5px for now just to get started, and then we'll adjust as needed. All right, that's a little bit of a rounding. I think it's a little bit too abrupt, so I'm gonna bounce it to 3. Yeah, that's better. Okay. Volar says, every time I see language with parentheses on a single line, I don't feel good. Well, that's because you're not using the right kind of editor. Because it's quite fine if you have an editor that can deal with parentheses effectively. I'm also going to change this back to 1px border size. That's better. A little not so great. So how about 1 rem? Too big, so 0.25. Too big, 0.25. Too small. Even too small. That seems okay. And the background. We're gonna tweak that. Just want to make sure, okay. Let me inspect. I want the background color of the main page. I want to take that and darken it somewhat. And then steal the color. And then put that in here for the background color. There it is. Reload. That looks better. Color tone is not so good, but that's okay. And in fact, I can take that same color and make that be the color of the footer background. And then have a similar orange be on the border. Border, there we go, right here. Just gonna drop that in right there. There we go. That seems a bit better. Also, we need the input box. I wonder if the input box should be inside the event feed div somehow. Also, let me do one other thing here. There's a way to placeholder. Placeholder? There's a way to have a placeholder in a box. Maybe it's in the examples. Come on. Active search. Placeholder equals, okay. That would be in views. I think we're in already, right? Okay, so. And we also want to style this. So class. Go back over here. Command input. Width 100%. Oops, wrong one. Okay, enter a command. There we go. That's kind of weird. Why is it sticking out so far compared to the other box? Is it because of the scroll bar? Maybe it's because of the scroll bar. I could say 98%. Also, if I change the box so that you don't see the border, so CSS input style. Width, padding, margin, box sizing, bordered inputs, border radius. The same thing for command input. Also, I wonder if the event feed, I should probably have that inside of another div. That actually seems like the right thing to do. So let me switch it up a little bit here. I'm gonna go change views. So we got container here. I don't want to screw with that. So div class game view. I don't know. Then we got the div ID event feed. And then we got the command input. So this is going to be and we're going to steal this part. Gonna steal that too. We're gonna steal order none. I don't know if that's even necessary. Okay, event feed inside, but did I break that somehow? Oh, okay. Is it 500px inspect the container event feed? I don't see the oh, right. I didn't go over to engine. No, it was view. Didn't reeval that. So now if I reeval this, now we got the command box at the bottom. The placeholder text needs to be white. Also, I think I can go back and set the width to 100% on command input. What did they say about placeholder? Placeholder. Pseudo element input colon placeholder. Was it color? It's just plain old color. Color. Let's start with that. Okay, I've got that. Type in it. Okay, let me actually put in color on this one too. I wonder if that's good enough just to make it work on either case. I also want to put some padding. There we go. Oh, padding really screwed it up. Needs to be padded on the inside of the event feed as well. So CSS padding without overflow. Box sizing border box. Is that going to be for the game view? There it is. Okay, that fit. Margin. I'm gonna put some margin on the game view. So margin top 0.25 rem. Probably some more than that. Maybe 1 even. Okay. So now we can enter command. Bah. And then it says test player enter command. That text is really big right here. I don't know why it's so big. Let's go check it out. Font size is 18px to start with. Can I change that to 16? Okay. That seems a bit better. Still seems really bold. I also think that the input field is not doesn't have the same font, but maybe that doesn't matter for now. There's a couple other things I thought would be interesting, which would be like a section at the top here that says what your player is, and also the kind of the health or maybe the magic amount that you have, and that would get updated based on signals that are being sent back. But maybe that's not in scope right now. We're pretty much at the end of the stream. I feel like we've got enough done that I feel we've got a good basis where we can continue to implement some behavior, like real game behavior. This is just, you know, this is just structure for now. So we can add real behavior later. Do I like this orange color? Maybe I want to make the orange color a bit different. Let me just fool around. I'm going to inspect. This thing I love about the inspector is you can just go and tweak whatever you want, whenever you want to. Kind of like that color better. So on the border, that is D1603D. D1603D. Let me go just change that. Go back and reload the page. And it's that color. Okay. That's a little bit more interesting, in my opinion. And also on the view, we'll just put something in here. Just to get things kicked off. Okay. Is that good enough? Are we happy? Seem okay? Green and brown should be the palette. Why? A.W. Leslie. It needs like 3 layers of iframes to give it that 2004 feel. I don't know about that. Goblins and mud. Oh, okay, yeah, green and brown, sure. I don't know. It just doesn't sound very appealing to me. Russet, the color of autumn and regret. That's very poetic, Cal. Okay, so I need to check this in to a repository. I've got Goblin Mud as a name, so I could probably just drop this in. I need to get it checked in so that people can see that this was done in one stream as preparation work, and I wasn't cheating. I don't think I'm cheating. I think I'm okay here. If anybody thinks I'm cheating, that's fine. I don't need to argue with that. But I don't think I'm cheating. I think I just set up the project so that we can get going with it. So let's just get something checked in and pushed up to Codeberg. I'm gonna add everything here. V, 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 V. All right. Wait a second. Is that right? Is that? Okay, add initial working project structure. Good. Now I need to go into a terminal to set the remote because I don't think I could do that inside of PC mode. New repository. Goblin Mud. A web-based mud written with guile, fibers, goblins, and data star. Don't want to initialize it because I'm just going to push it myself. All right. And on the SSH side, I'm going to copy that over. And then I'm going to git remote add origin, git push origin master. And there it is. So you can go check that out and take a look at the code, what we've done so far, and get a sense of how things are going to work. A little bit of example of some Goblins code being out there. I mean, this is not so hard to write. I think it's going to be pretty interesting once we actually start doing more elaborate work with actors. But it's a good start, I think. I feel pretty good about it. I think it was pretty fun to put that together, and we made good progress within the scope of 2.5 hours. So on Friday we'll be back at the normal System Crafters live stream time, and we're going to work on this some more, try to actually get some basic game world stuff started, and maybe flesh out the basic concepts of what we're trying to accomplish in the game. So if you want to watch that, be here on Friday. You'll see the stream scheduled in advance. So if you're a subscriber to the channel, you should see the live stream schedule notification on there, and you'll also see whenever we go live. I see there's quite a lot of people that showed up in the live stream here at the very last minute, so thank you all who joined at the last minute. But just letting you know, Friday we'll be back again working on this some more in case you are interested in seeing it. But yeah, we're gonna have some fun. And if you don't know about it, the Spring Lisp Game Jam starts on Friday. Go to the website here on the screen, itch.io/jam/Spring Lisp Game Jam 2025, and sign up for that. There's 53 people joined now, which is great. I think there was like 47 the last time I looked, so more people are joining. We're gonna have some fun over the next 10 days working on some Scheme game programming. Yet again, this is gonna be the third entry that we've done live coded on either this channel or on the Flux Harmonic channel. So come back and check that out as we're doing it. We'll be streaming Friday, then next week on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and that should be all the streams. This is all I have time for, but it'll be fun. Be here for that and watch me struggle writing some Scheme game code live. It'll be fun. Okay, so thank you all for being here today. Really appreciate your time and attention. Leave a note in the comments of the stream if you have any thoughts, or come find us on the System Crafters IRC, irc.libra.chat / System Crafters. You'll find us there. There's also the forum.systemcrafters.net. And yeah, until next time, have a great day, and we'll see you next time. Happy hacking. Got totally out of sync. Happy hacking. We'll see you.